Good evening, folks, or afternoon, or whatever, and welcome to the sports show. My friend Gary Patterson and I are going to straighten you all out, answer all your questions about sports.
There you go.
Dole out some very, very candid opinions, and have a good time.
Okay.
So stay tuned. Gary, I had a bunch of odd thoughts here, and
You, Bill?
yeah, I got them all mixed up here, but so let's start with David Price, shall we?
Okay.
Did you go through the roof last night that nobody was warming up when he went into the eighth inning?
I don't know if I went through the roof, but it was surprising because he really was in control of that game.
I thought so.
7 innings. He looked like what we finally expected, which he has from time to time. He just can't be consistent. But yeah, it did seem troubling. And then Barnes came in, got an out, and then Abad came in and rolled one up there. Yeah, that was a bad pitch.
Yeah, he said he left it right over the middle of the plate.
He just hung it.
Yeah. The Legion of the Miserable on talk radio today. Why wasn't Buchholz up warming up? You know, we've gone from wanting to lynch Buchholz to him being the new savior.
Yeah, I don't get a warm and fuzzy from Buchholz getting up at all.
No.
I mean, you could make an argument. Yeah, the move that he made, Barnes and then Abad, it was not a bad move. It didn't work. To me, I blame the pitcher more than I blame the manager.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it was just
definitely
a bad pitch.
We'll get into that a little more. But David Price, I thought, took a gigantic step forward last night.
He's looking better. He was
is.
hitting 94 consistently. And he seemed to have a good idea where it was going. He seemed to have some command on his breaking pitches. So,
Sandy Leone.
Yeah, ride him while he's hot.
It's an interesting story. The other half I'm not sure that you know about. But in spring training, Sandy Leone went to Chili Davis and said, "Will you work with me?
Yeah.
I'm at a certain spot in my career." And I guess Davis really encouraged him and really started to work with him. Well, guess what? He also did that with Dan Butler, who's down to Pawtucket. Now, Dan Butler is a major league catcher defensively.
Yeah.
But, man, he can't hit.
Huh?
Can't hit our weight.
Yeah.
He's hitting .293.
Is he? In Pawtucket?
Yeah.
Any power?
Yep. He has a couple of home runs, a few home runs.
Yeah.
But the important thing is his defense is still
top-notch.
Top-notch.
Throws well?
Yeah. And he belongs on a major league roster someplace. But boy, it's great to have that kind of depth.
Yeah, it sure is.
The Red Sox
have a lot of depth.
He walked away from the Red Sox 2 years ago, and they signed with, jeepers, I forget who, but spent the year in AAA. This past year, the Red Sox went back to him, and they said, "Come on back."
Okay.
Come on back. And they structured a much better contract for him because they kind of appreciated what they lost. He's good in the clubhouse, too.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because catching, it's very deep right now, and you would think it would provide a block or two for an off-season deal to get another pitcher for next year.
Yeah, now
right? Whether it's a sale or
who would you trade? Vasquez? Sandy Leone?
I'd trade any of them.
Yeah.
Depending on the deal.
Yeah. I don't think I'd trade Blake Swihart.
Well, yeah.
He's got upside.
But who are we talking about? If you're talking about a
Oh, well, if you're talking about
top of
Christy
the
Mathewson,
rotation,
then
top
yeah.
of the rotation pitcher.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a given. I'm talking, I guess, who would I perhaps start the try? If somebody comes to us and says, you guys get too many catches, how about giving us one?
Right. I would hold off. I would save that chip because I think they need to get up another pitcher in the offseason. And if you want to get a top of the rotation pitcher and you don't want to include Betts or Bogarts or Bradley or Moncada or
Nintendo,
then you got to give something, Bill. Right?
Moncada is not going to be traded.
Right.
You can take that one right to the bank.
So some of that catching depth, and that's why I would trade a Swihart.
Yeah. I mean, see, I would.
If we're talking about a number 1 or number 2 starter.
Oh, now that's a different story. Totally
which I think is what
story.
they should aim for in next offseason.
Because I don't want a 500 pitcher for either Vasquez or Swihart.
I would love David Price to be the number 2 starter going forward.
Wouldn't
we're stuck
that
with him.
Be sweet?
We're stuck with him, but we got him. He's ours.
Yep.
If he was our number 2 starter going into next year, that would be interesting.
Mucho bettero.
Right. Whether it's Sale or whoever.
Now, Andrew Benintendi. Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah.
Came up yesterday.
Yeah, 0 for 2 last night.
Yeah, a little overmatched.
Overmatched in the 9th, yeah.
What? I made a note and I've lost the note. What in heaven's name did we bring him up for at this juncture from Double-A?
Well, I don't think he's necessarily here to stay. He's here to stay if he hits.
Yeah, but why don't we see if we can wait till we find a more pressure-packed moment to introduce him to the American League?
Yeah, it's
the middle
Seattle on the road.
But the middle of a pennant race
right.
that we're a game and a half out on, or 2 games out on, and
we did the same thing to Ellsbury.
Yeah,
and it worked. Remember? And he ended up being the leadoff hitter in the World Series that year.
Yep. Although Ellsbury came through Triple-A, though he didn't jump from Double-A. I still have.
I'm okay with him giving him a shot. Let's see what
I have fond memories of that outfield down there.
Yeah.
Ellsbury, Brandon Moss, and Josh
Reddick. Yeah, who just got traded the other day.
And they rotate them. All right, left field goes to center, center goes to right, right goes to left. Every third game that they moved them around. Boy, I'll tell you what, Brandon Moss can play center field.
Yeah.
So can
Reddick's a good defender.
Reddick, yeah. And Reddick's got some pop in his bat.
Right.
And
just went to the Dodgers.
That's not a bad move for the Dodgers, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I really like Brandon Moss. He hit his 18th home run last night, and he does not play every day.
Right.
But I don't know. It's Ellsbury is 259 now.
Yeah, he's an anchor around the Yankees' neck.
Boy, that was a bad signing.
It was a bad
signing. Now in retrospect.
Yeah.
And I was brokenhearted when they did it because I loved Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yeah. Just sitting there with his salary, A-Rod, Teixeira.
Oh.
I think Teixeira has another year or two left too, doesn't he?
This is it.
Oh, this is it?
This is it. Yeah, he gets to go home.
Count his money, yeah.
Yeah. The Yankees dumped all their old players, Carlos Beltran.
Good move.
Andrew Miller, Adolis Chapman, Ivan Nova, and if old A-Rod, he might not play much anymore.
Right.
Now, they didn't dump Miller and Chapman. They
restocked their farm
system. Players.
They had a pretty bleak farm system.
They didn't do bad on Beltran either.
Right.
If you read, it's not just happy words.
We'll know in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, well, that's just it. It's like the Bruins draft choices. We're not going to know for 3 or 4 years, what's going on. I just wish that they had taken Benintendi and put him in Triple-A.
Yeah.
Rather than move him up here. And
I was a little surprised the Yankees moved Miller. I don't know.
I
He was signed for 2 more
shocked.
years. I'm not sure what
Yes.
the urgency was to move him.
Yeah, what? I mean, it was,
Now they're going to be out looking for a left-handed reliever
that's
this
it.
winter, aren't
They're
they?
going to start all over again.
Yeah.
Now they moved Betances up to
So
the
you don't-
closer role, but
So you don't know about the kids they got, but
no, you don't.
right,
And a couple of years from now, you'll probably begin to figure out what they got.
right.
Okay, now I want you to be calm on this one.
Okay.
Rick Porcello for the Cy Young Award.
It's not out of the realm.
You and
not out of the realm.
I wanted to send him packing in spring training.
He's on. He could end up 20-4 or something.
Yeah.
And
And do you know that he appears to have settled in?
oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. And I even look. I don't think the Sox ultimately are going to be able to do it this year. But
I don't think so either.
if you look at next year, and again, if you can really get that, if you can get a Chris Sale in the offseason, now you got Sale and you got Price and Porcello's now your number 3.
Did you,
And
when you were a kid,
Rodriguez gets settled as your number 4, unless you need to include him in the deal. You may have to.
I don't have good vibes with him. But hell, I was wrong with Porcello. Why can't I be wrong with him?
Gotta be careful giving up on those lefties too.
Oh, I know it. I know it. Yeah. The Red Sox. When you were a kid, did you do puzzles?
Sure.
The Red Sox have got a good-looking pile of pieces.
Yeah.
They just don't go together.
Well, yeah.
And the Red Sox, quite honestly, they've done a couple of dumb things. I mean, what was this Mickey Martinez experiment?
Yeah. Well, you win some, you lose some. Nobody bats 1,000, I guess.
No. What was the big hurry to get him in? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, well, the bullpen's in a state of flux right now. There's confusion, and so we take a guy that's been effective, Hembry, and we send him down.
Right.
And then we take Kelly and send him down. He can
Buck
throw
Wilson.
100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Then we take a guy like Tommy Lane, who, if you just put him in there for a couple of lefties, is okay.
Right.
So you cut him loose.
Right. On the theory that about it is a upgrade.
Yeah, well, you know, he
He
didn't.
didn't have a good first game, but he's a
Yeah.
decent left-handed. If you look at his stats, he has some good stats against lefties. He really
Houston,
does.
Washington, Oakland, Minnesota. Nobody thought enough of him to hang on to him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Is Buchholz a relief pitcher? The Marlins
It looks like we're gonna find
supposedly
out.
wanted him.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Oh, well, look, I mean,
I'm
they're
not surprised somebody
dying
would.
on the
Yeah.
vine down there.
I'm not. I think the Orioles would take him if you cut him. I think he would sign with
Yeah.
the Orioles.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything. They got Wade Miley.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I was never a big Wade Miley fan.
No, the Orioles are short on pitching. They really
Very
are.
short on pitching, yeah.
As the weather turns cold, that's going to bite them.
I think you're right. Although, down in Baltimore, it's going to stay warm for a while.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, speaking of being wrong, we might as well hit ourselves over the head
Let's
a couple
fess up.
more times
Might as
here.
well fess up, Bill.
Mike Napoli hit his 26th home run
Yeah.
last night.
I know it. Amazing.
Why can't we get guys like that?
Yeah. I'm not sure where he'd be playing here. But
Oh, I got a spot for him. It's called first base. Yeah, I was watching our wandering maestro there, wandering around trying to catch a pop-up last weekend, and I'm saying to myself, Napoli would have had that in his back pocket.
Right, with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me the truth now. So I'll be able to sleep tonight.
Okay, Bill.
Big Papi's going to retire.
Yeah.
And if you didn't believe that, the fact that he's not going to play against the Dodgers, they don't dare put him in the infield, is the proof that his Achilles are absolutely being held together with beeswax and Gorilla Glue. He's going to retire.
Right.
Are we really going to keep Hanley and make him the DH?
Well, unless you can move him, and he may be movable.
You know,
especially if you're willing to take back another contract.
Yep.
That fit
And if
in
we
better.
Yeah, I'll take back a contract and a pitcher.
Maybe.
But if you'll take his contract, I'll take yours because I've seen enough of Hanley.
Yeah, I don't like him batting fifth. And,
No.
We started to touch on it in our last show.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have a little concern about the batting order.
A lot.
And as great as Mookie is in the leadoff role, and I don't think personally if you think of a definition of a leadoff hitter, which has traditionally been on base percentage, is the top. Get on base, be on base, so your production people can knock you in and you score 120 runs. He has a 345 on base percentage, but he's such a dynamic hitter.
And he also
that
caught stealing once.
Yeah, I think maybe he needs to be a little further down in the order. But who's your leadoff hitter?
That's exactly.
And that's
right.
where I wonder if Benintendi
Benintendi
has that potential to be a leadoff hitter.
He could
He
well
can run.
have it.
He can run.
He's sound defensively, much better than they ever thought when they drafted him.
Right.
And he seems
and
to.
if you do that, and then Hanley's the one who slides down. Even if he's still playing, he's hitting eighth or seventh at the
into
earliest.
the sunset.
Right. And as a number 7 hitter, not bad.
Not bad.
Right.
Yeah. But Pedroia is a good second hitter.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
And I think Xander
I like Xander third.
in third.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for now, we got Poppy fourth.
We got Poppy at fourth, so we're going to have to sign Mark Trumbo during the off season.
Perhaps, yeah.
Oh man, I'd love to see him in
He
Fenway
would launch
Park.
some bombs.
Boy, oh boy, with protection on both sides of him.
Right.
Whoa.
Right.
Will the real Erod please stand up?
Yeah. Tough to
Now,
say.
he's pitched a couple of good games.
Right.
Did you happen to hear Jerry Remy talking about Erod the other night? He was about as frank and as candid as he ever gets.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't recall that specifically.
Well, he was. I'll
I
tell
watched
you
some
when
of
it
that game,
was. I'll tell you when it was. It was during the draft special at like 3 to 5 on Nesson.
The trade special?
Yeah. The
Deadline
yeah.
day trade
Yeah,
special?
the draft. Yeah.
Yeah.
The trade deadlines. Yeah. And so they were talking about different things. And Tom Caron said to him, now, what was your opinion of Erod last night or the night before or whatever? Jerry said, well, he's making progress.
Yeah.
But he said, when I can sit in the booth and tell you every single pitch he's going to throw, he tips it off that badly, you got to wonder what's going on.
Really?
Yeah.
So they still think he still thinks he's tipping pitches.
Well, he thinks that the glove up here now has stopped the tipping of the pitches. But what he said, without coming out and saying it, what the hell are we paying a pitching coach for?
Coaching staff,
And
right.
we have a manager that's a former pitching coach.
Right.
And nobody saw this?
Right.
He was
That's the same. That's a good question. Good
Yeah.
question to ask.
he was very
Very blunt.
very frank.
Yeah.
He put it right out there.
It's a fair question.
Yeah, because he's very, well, I wouldn't say he's impatient with Rodriguez, but it's time for Rodriguez to step up.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's the fact that he's 23 years old.
Sure.
He's got a pocket full of money, and the world is full of senoritas with his name on them.
If he could finish the year strong, it would not only help us to the playoffs, but it would create the value to make him part of the Chris Sale trade in the
That's
offseason.
exactly right. Now let's talk about Chris Sale. I mean, what causes a kid to go off the deep? Well, the fact that he's a kid, I guess.
Yeah.
He's what, 25 or 6?
I think he's right in that range. Yeah.
Yeah. But he really
Yeah.
off the reservation on that one.
You know, and I've never really heard negative things about him. It's not that I've heard overly positive things about him. It's just
He's out in Chicago and we're here.
right. So, but I do see the talent, and you know, unless you, I mean, and I would assume they do their due diligence and they do their homework. And if you look at the kid and he's a psycho, then move on.
Well, he went off the reservation.
I mean, if you know how to do
spring
your
training,
homework, you can find this stuff out. Right?
He was very outspoken in spring training about the general manager telling LaRoche that his kid had to could not be on the field all the bloody time, and
Right.
A little bit is a great thing for the kid, but you know, he's not a member of the team.
Right.
You know, well, Sale went berserk over that, and he really called the general manager out about that, along with LaRoche. But you know, LaRoche quit.
Yeah.
But I
So
wouldn't be surprised if they try to move him.
Yeah, and I think we should be talking to them early and often about that, because it's a great situation. We didn't get him this year, but he's got 2 years left, already signed for 2 more years.
Yeah.
So you put him and Price at the top,
Yeah.
other than you're starting 2 lefties in Fenway at the top of your rotation, but so be it.
So be it. Yeah, that's exactly
and, you
right.
know, Porcello, you know, I think we've talked before. We've talked before about over the length of Porcello's contract. He was gonna have a really good year. Maybe this is it. Can he, you know, is this the real Rick Porcello versus last year being the real Rick Porcello? Answer's in the middle somewhere, right?
The second half
So,
of last year, he was strong.
Yeah.
And this year,
But now if you're talking about him as your number 3,
things are really starting to
doing-
crystallize now. Yeah. Imagine if we had signed Cueto.
yeah, he's having a great year.
Yeah, he's having a fantastic year.
Giants were very active at the deadline.
They were. They were.
And
Now,
them and the Rangers.
Blake Swayhart, you would move him.
I would move
See,
him.
he's one of the guys I wouldn't move.
If we're talking about, you know, my dream scenario at this point is that Eduardo Rodriguez has a solid second half of the year and reestablishes his value. And he's part of a package of 4 or 5 guys probably. And you're throwing in Rodriguez, you're throwing in, you know, hopefully avoiding Benintendi.
They're not going to trade Benintendi. I can tell you that right now. And
So-
just like Moncada, they've got $63 million invested in Moncada.
Yeah.
$31.5 million to him and $31.5 million in fines for signing him.
Yeah.
They're not going to trade him.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade him either. I mean, he sounds like a legitimate franchise type player. I've heard people speculate he could steal 80 bases in a year. He's that kind of athlete, speed.
Oh, we have fun with these guys
Yeah.
when they're still little tykes, don't we?
Yeah.
You put them right in the bloody Hall of Fame.
It's pretty universal on
It
this
is.
kid, though.
Oh, it is.
You know,
Everybody
I mean,
loves
like,
him.
Everybody's reaction is, wow.
And he's a football player. He's got a linebacker's build.
Yeah,
Bo Jackson all over again.
yeah.
Woof. Wouldn't that be something? Boy, poor Bo Jackson. Man, if he'd ever stayed healthy.
Yeah, it's a shame.
What a shame.
And it looked like such an innocuous hit along the sidelines that started it all for him. Just got shoved out of bounds.
Yeah.
Fell on it wrong. Yeah.
Football,
Yeah.
baseball. If he had decided to play hockey, he would have been all world at that too.
Yeah.
Chris Young. We're not even thinking about him anymore, but this is a serious injury that he's got. It's not.
Apparently.
Yeah, it's not healing.
Been a long time.
Yeah.
It's too bad because I like Chris Young.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. And I was getting so that I liked him too.
Yeah.
He was showing us what Chris Young used to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked him back in his Arizona days. He was a good all-around player.
And I'm very, very glad to see that Mickey Martinez has left the scene and is back in A-ball.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wherever he ended up. I don't know. He couldn't hit.
Right.
Couldn't play the outfield. That was
No
quite a
kid.
night.
He could run a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
About it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
The minors are full of guys like that, including
You bet they are.
including the kid down to Pawtucket, Hernandez.
Yeah.
Why he is down there is something I don't understand. He's hitting .310. He hits nothing but line drives. He's left-handed, plays second, short, and now they're playing him over at third. My favorite player down there, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I don't know.
Unless
he was up for a
Yeah.
couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, and he did all right.
Yeah. I remember him hitting line drives. I remember
Yeah,
that.
he can do that.
A lot of them were caught, but he was hitting them.
Now, have I got some good news for you?
Oh, that's good. I could use some.
Good. Rusney Castillo got 2 hits last night.
Did
Yep. Not bad, huh?
he? I'm thrilled.
He was in the 220s. He may have clawed his way over 230.
Is that right?
Went down there the other night. He can run,
Yep.
and he's got a great arm from the outfield. Man, and he can hit line drives, but not consistently. And I keep going back, and I've said this 100 times, but Hanley Ramirez said he just doesn't get it.
Yeah. From Hanley Ramirez.
That's something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alan Craig is still hurt with a mysterious injury down there,
Really?
and we're going to get to pay him another $9 million next year.
That's good.
Yeah, good for Alan Craig.
It sure
anyway.
is. Enjoy the Rhode Island summer.
Yeah.
Go to the beach.
And we'll get Hanley still at 20 or 22 million.
22 next year, I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter though.
You're right.
I mean, it just doesn't matter.
I know.
You know,
it's not our money.
We've got Pablo at like 19 next year.
Oh
At
God.
19 this year.
Well,
and nobody seems to
Pablo
care.
was on the sheet that I think I've misplaced, but oh no, I know where it is. He's in here. How about the Dodgers and Yasiel Puig?
Yeah, they want it.
Send him to the minors.
Yeah, he was very available.
Yes.
At the trade deadline. Nobody
And
was really
this
interested.
website listed some of the things that I hadn't read about. They had trouble with him on the team bus. So Zach Greinke threw his suitcase out the window or out the door.
Oh, no kidding.
Right into the middle of the street in Chicago.
Huh. Nice.
Clayton Kershaw went to management and said, "You have got to get rid of this guy."
Really?
Justin Turner almost got into a fist fight with him in the dugout. And one unnamed player said he is the worst person I've ever seen in baseball.
No kidding.
He's a 5-tool player.
He is.
And now
Apparently he's a jerk, huh?
the Dodgers have said to the minors, and according to this website, they are going to actively try to move him while he's down there.
Right. Who takes it, you know? Is it Albert Bell all over again?
Who knows? But this guy's got real
He's got
talent.
real issues, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they actually just ate it and released him, you wonder what would happen. Somebody would, I guess,
So
sign him.
somebody would grab him.
Yeah.
Now, interesting. If Big Papi were going to be on the team next year, he takes these guys under his wing,
Yeah.
and things seem to happen, positive things. But I don't think
He's not going to be, though.
he's not going to be as right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and A-Rod is upset because the
Yeah.
Yankees have told him,
He's got at
for
least,
all intents and purposes, it's all over.
yeah, he's got at least another year, though.
27 mil.
At 27 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter to the Yankees either.
No. Now,
Just-
oh, by the way, at our last show, I wrote down 2 things that you said.
You did?
Yep.
Do they have quotations around here?
I do. They do now.
Okay.
Where's Hanley's power? And I like Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
And you know, you must have had a crystal ball in your pocket because he went hitting home runs.
Yeah, he hit a couple. I
And
think,
Matt
the next
Barnes
night.
is settled down and is becoming
Looking-
reliable.
looking good.
Yeah. I really did not like the trade to get Abad, Pat Light. Pat Light developed a changeup. I was down at Paw Sox the other night, and they brought Light in the ninth inning when the second guy that pitched ran amok. Light was throwing changeups like crazy. He struck out 3 guys.
Really? Does
Yeah.
he throw hard? Does he have a
Oh, he's
hard
got like
fastball?
100. He can throw 100.
Really?
Yeah, but this is the first night I've seen him
Seen a change.
really effectively have a changeup.
That'll make him a major leaguer. He
So we trade him.
throws strikes.
So we trade him.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And I said, I don't care for Dave O'Brien. And I don't care for how much he hops on certain subjects.
Yeah.
The monster of a road trip. Look at the schedule. How many times did he say that?
Yeah.
And the windy night. You'd think it was Hurricane Helena or something that had
Yeah.
landed in right field. He talked about that. God almighty.
Yeah. I remember that.
He's making the nights much longer than they need to be for
Yeah.
me. But anyway, if they win, it's the price we have to pay.
Yeah, that's right.
We talked. Oh, I got a couple of things in here. Maybe I'll grab them first.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Here they are. Yeah, De Benintendi. Why now in the middle of a pennant race? Do we need to give him the most pressure possible?
Well, I'm good with it. Give him a shot. You know, I think we need to do better than Brock Holt in left field.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I love Brock Holt as a
Yeah.
bench player.
3 times a
Super
week.
utility man.
Yeah. Go in there
Right,
and do
2-3
this, go
nights
in
a
there and
week.
do that. Because he wears down.
Yeah,
Apparently,
he's-
by the
I
looks
don't
of
think he's
things.
an everyday player,
No.
especially not a starting left fielder.
Mike Napoli hit his 26th.
Yeah.
I gave you that good news. Kansas City is really in the crapper at
Yeah.
51 and 55. But Danny Duffy comes from nowhere. He's 7-1 now. Last night he threw a one-hitter through 8 and struck out 16 guys.
16. Danny Duffy.
Yeah, it was either last night or the night before.
Huh. Wow. That's what's great about the game. You never know.
Who knew?
Who knew?
The Red Sox. All right. I had an argument with my son Patrick about this.
Okay.
So I said to myself, when I got done, I said, I'm writing down what I think, and the hell with what he thinks. We'll see who's right. The Red Sox are playing as though they're leaderless at times.
Yeah.
Dull, listless, uninspired. I see body language out there that stinks. Maybe I'm seeing something that's not there. I don't know. But are they a well-oiled fighting machine?
No, I mean,
No.
they
That-
continue to find ways to lose games
Yeah.
that they should be winning.
Are they all for one and one for all?
I don't know. I think the feeling on the team is probably pretty good.
Are they
I don't
playing?
I don't think they're infighting or anything.
Are they
like
playing
that.
with fierce determination?
Well, that's open to the eyes of the beholder. I
Petey
guess.
is.
Yeah.
And I think JBJ and Mookie are. I think they
Yeah,
give.
I think overall they're given a pretty good effort.
Yeah.
I mean, who would you take exception with?
Well, some of the major league mistakes, minor league, little league mistakes.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, they're going brain dead.
Right.
They're
not
Hanley
making plays.
seems to find a new one every once
Yeah.
in a while. And I don't want to beat up on him. He's learning a new position and all that. But hell's bells, you got to be able to
You
catch
know,
pop-ups.
But the problem with Hanley is going in, we all expected that there would be defensive problems. Over the first 3 or 4 months, he actually wasn't that bad. He didn't get tested that many times. He actually made a few plays. But in the last month, he's cost them games.
Yeah, that airmail of the.
And he's made the pitchers work harder than they have to with again, not being able to execute kind of fundamental plays.
Yeah. And
so
Eduardo Rodriguez.
And when you think about the postseason,
yeah.
One
that's
of those
it.
things can kill you.
Yeah. Yep. Eduardo Rodriguez has his problems out there on the mound. He doesn't look like a confident pitcher to me.
I think this is ultimately going to be a lost season for him.
I think so too.
I
think so too. I'm just waiting for his next start. If he can put together 3 good starts, maybe there's hope.
Yeah. Oh, there's hope.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a major league arm.
Yeah.
He's got a big physique, 6'3".
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big lad. Robbie Ross Jr. looks like he's got a hot date after the game, and he can't wait for the game to be over. He comes in just firing.
Well, he really did the job the other night, right, with the bases loaded, 1 out, right? But again, he's like all the rest of them. Honestly, they're major leaguers, but they're.
And then he came in and walks a couple of guys, just out there firing the ball. Oh God! But you're right.
And we haven't recovered from trading Andrew Miller yet.
No, we haven't. Now, every time I think about that, it drives me nuts.
You talk about what would be the answer. Andrew Miller would be the answer.
Yeah, he really would. Tazawa,
he's wearing out.
He's wearing out. And I really wonder if there's any communication going on with him. He and Koji, neither one of them speak English particularly well. Koji perhaps is better than Tazawa, but...
They have their translator, though, right?
Yeah, but something gets lost in the translation sometimes.
I like Tazawa. I just think they've overused him over the last 3 years.
Yeah, I get a kick out of it, too, because they said that at the beginning of this year. We are not going to work him into the ground. And what do? They pitch him 3 straight games.
Yeah. Well, not to defend them, but losing Carson Smith was so huge to this team. It was enormous.
Huge.
And it fell, that extra work fell to Tazawa with him being gone.
And Koji.
And Koji.
And Koji just is 41 years old.
He's done.
He's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'll pitch again this year.
Him in the 8th innings.
No.
How could you?
But then he comes out and does the job.
Well,
God, he's doing it with mirrors, I guess.
How are you going to feel when he comes in the 8th inning of a 1-run game in the playoffs?
I know. Well, you're waiting for my solutions now.
You have solutions?
Oh, yes.
You brought solutions.
Listen, I'm not just blasting off with problems. I got solutions.
Beautiful. Let's hear them.
Fire John Farrell and Kyle Willis both. Show them the door. Immediately.
Okay.
Waive Robbie Ross Jr., Clay Buchholz, Ryan Hannigan, and Mickey Martinez. Well, he heard me about Mickey Martinez.
Yeah. Cross that one off.
That's one and done. Bring up Marco Hernandez and Dan Butler. And hired, this is the master stroke.
Okay.
Hired Pedroia as the player manager.
Hire Pedroia as the player manager.
Shades of Lou Boudreau.
You're thinking out of the box today, William.
Yep. When I saw him go over the mound and fire a new one at Eduardo one night, and nobody else on the mound, including Farrell, said a word, I knew who I wanted in charge. Now that puts a hell of a load on him.
Well, I would say so.
But and he's got to have a special bench coach,
which he has in Lavillo, right?
That's right. But I would put Pedroia in charge.
Wow, I'm not sure I could. I would really have to give that some thought, but I'm not sure I can agree with that.
You're not ready.
How's Big Poppy going to feel about that?
Tough. I'm not going to start worrying about these guys. Big Poppy would be fine with it. I think
he probably would.
I don't think he's a tough, I want to be the decision maker kind of guy. He's the guy that he wants to be loved by everybody, puts his arms around everybody, and he leads by patting everybody on the back and saying, you know, you're doing a good job.
So is this after Jim Leland tells us he won't come and manage?
He's 89 now.
Well, I know, and he's still smoking 2 packs a day, but but he seems to know what he's doing. Gets results.
I think he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Bruins won't listen to me. I want to bring Harry Sinden back.
Yeah.
And he's younger than that. He's 84, I think. Well,
yeah.
You and I talked about great rotations in Major League Baseball.
Okay.
So I went to some websites and did some research. And starting with number 25 and working our way down.
Okay.
We have the 1954 Giants. Johnny Antonelli, Ruben Gomez, Sal Maglie.
Sal Maglie.
Yeah. And then we go to the 1997 Braves at number 24. John Smoltz, Tommy Glavine, Greg Maddux. But who on the 1997 Braves, I didn't tell you, who led them in wins? Smoltz had 15, Glavine 14, Greg Maddux 19, and who had 20? Who went 20 and 5? I had forgotten.
The lefty.
Denny Nagel.
That's not who I was thinking of.
Oh.
Denny Nagel, wow.
And then number 23, the same bunch of Braves except in 2002. Glavine, Maddux. Glavine 18 wins, Maddux 16 wins. Kevin Millwood.
Kevin Millwood
wins.
Yeah. I remember him pitching.
But who went 12 and 6? Damian Moss.
Damian Moss.
Yeah, who the hell's Damian Moss?
I don't know.
Jason Marquis went 8 and 9.
Okay, I remember Jason Marquis.
Oh, 22.
Yeah.
The 2002 Oakland A's.
Oh.
Tim Hudson, Barry Zito, and Mark Mulder.
Okay, 22.
Yep. 23, 19, and 15 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they had a couple of scrubs. 21, the Milwaukee Braves. I forgot to write the year down, but it's I think it's around 56 or 7. Warren Spahn, 20 and 11.
Yeah.
Lou Burdette, 19 and 10. Bob Buell, 18 and 8. And then Ray Crone and Gene Conley combined to win 19 games.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember Burdette and Buell well. Well, I tell you what, you didn't dig in on those two. Man, if you stood there digging in, you're guaranteed you're going to get one in the ribs. Burdette would hit his grandmother. And Buell was just as bad.
Wow. Yeah, it was an accepted part of the game back then.
Oh, it certainly was.
Yeah.
Who was the Bob Uecker? I think the funniest story I think I ever heard. Burdett's on the mound, and things aren't going well, so Uecker comes out. Well, Burdett's got us rubbing the ball up, looking out towards center field. He turns around, and Uecker's there. He looks at him and says, "What the hell are you doing out here?" Uecker said, yeah. He says, "You come out to talk to me about pitching? The only thing you know about pitching is you can't hit it. Now get the hell back behind the plate." And Uecker says, so the guy with Uecker says, "So what'd you say?" I said, "Go get him, big guy."
Wise move.
Yeah. 20th, the 1918 Red Sox.
1918?
Yeah.
That was a great year, huh?
Well, it sure was. A dead ball year, but nonetheless, Kyle Mays, 21 and 13, 2.22 earned run average. Joe Bush, 15 and 15, 2.11. Sad Sam Jones, 16 and 5, 2.25. Dutch Leonard, 8 and 6, 2.72. And Babe Ruth, 13 and 7, 2.22.
Wow. Wow. 1918. That's
Boy.
why that flag's up there.
Yep. The 1927 Philadelphia A's, Lefty Grove, 20 and 13. Rube Wahlberg, 16 and 12. Jack Quinn, Howard Emke, Ed Rommel, and Sam Gray. That was quite a bunch. Here's a pretty good lineup here. The 1962 Dodgers, Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, 25-9. Johnny Padres, 15-13, and old friend Stan Williams, 14-12.
Huh.
There's another guy you didn't mess with.
Yeah.
Tough bird.
Either.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then the Giants of 1913, Christy Mathewson, Rube Marquardt, a fellow by the name of Jess Tosrow that I never heard of, 22-13. Al Damari, 13-4. 64 White Sox, Gary Peters, 20-8. Juan Pizarro, 19-9. Joel Holan, 13-9. John Buzzhart, 10-8. And Ray Herbert and Fred Talbot combined for 10 wins. Not sure that's the greatest pitching staff
the top
in the
end
world.
top end was pretty good.
Yeah, Gary Peters had a couple of good years, but he was a better hitter than he was a
Yeah,
pitcher.
he was a good hitter.
The 2003 Cubs are in 15th spot with Carlos Zambrano at 13-11, Mark Pryor 18-6, Kerry Wood 14-11, Matt Clement 14-12, and Sean Estes 8-11. Mark Pryor just fell apart.
Yeah.
Just
And Kerry Wood got hurt.
yeah, it was like a Tinker toy that the pieces broke on.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that one either.
No, I don't like that one at
One
all.
had potential, but I'm not sure they actually achieved it.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't believe they did the damn thing, to tell you the truth. And Matt Clement, now, according to an old friend of mine that used to be a pitching coach of the Red Sox, Matt didn't pack the gear to pitch in Fenway Park.
Really? Yeah.
14. Now, this team is good. The 2011 Phillies.
Okay.
Roy Halladay.
Yeah, he was good.
Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, Vance Worley went 11-3, and Roy Oswalt went 9-10.
Yeah, very solid top three.
The 13th, I'm going to skip a couple of these. We'll go back over them again someday if you want. But the 1907 Cubs,
Yeah, we can move on.
Mordecai Brown
that's a
must
name.
have been
That's
quite
a
a
name.
pitcher, and I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I know the
Yep.
name. I thought he was in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think he is.
Huh.
I'll research that. The 2003 Yankees, Messina, Wells, Clemens, Pettit, and Weaver. Who led that team in wins? Andy Pettit, 21.
Andy Pettit.
Then we got the A's all over again with Zito and Mulder and those guys from 2003. The 27 Yankees, Wade Hoyt, 22-7, Herb Pennock, 19-8, Urban Shaka, 18-6, and Wilcie Moore, 19-7. Then they had a couple more that won 10 games.
27 Yankees? Yeah,
27.
just go out there and
Murderers
get the innings
Row.
go and you'll get the runs.
Then the 1906 Cubs, the 1951 Cleveland Indians, Fella, 22-8, Wynn, 20-13, Garcia, 20-13, Bob Lemon, 17-14.
Wow.
What a lineup. Then we got another Dodgers team with Koufax and Drysdale, the 66s.
Yeah.
Now we go back to the 11 Giants with Mathewson and Marquardt, blah, blah, blah. The 86 Mets ended in 5th place with Dwight Gooden, Ron Darling, Bob Ojeda. Glad we gave him away at 18-5. Sid Fernandez, 16-6.
Yeah, that's a pretty good.
And Rick Aguilera, who refused to come to Boston in a trade. I've always loved him. The 93 Braves, Maddox, Smoltz, Glavine, and Steve Avery.
Steve Avery.
We got him at the end of his career, and he couldn't throw hard enough to break a pane of glass.
He was a big-time prospect coming up.
Oh, was he ever. And he had a great curveball.
Yeah.
The fastball disappeared when the arm fell off. Number 3, and this is the outfit that I put number 1. They put it number 3. The 1954 Indians. Fella, 13-3. Wynn, 23-11. Garcia, 19-8. Lemon, 23-7.
Wow.
And Art Hudeman that they got from the Tigers, 15-7.
Wow.
But I went and I knew more about this.
Those 5 guys, they had 4-man rotations in
Yeah.
those days. Yeah.
Fella was sort of not an every 4th day kind of guy. So, but he pitched part-time in 13-3.
Yeah.
So they nursed him along through the year. And he and Houdeman kind of worked out some time. But here's the key. Don Mossy, 6-1, 1.94, the left-hander in the bullpen. Ray Naleski, 3-3, 2.22 earned run A. And then the long guy, Hall of Famer, Hal Newhouser.
Hal Newhouser, yeah.
7-2, 2.51. He was the. This team
Pretty good.
here.
That's pretty good.
And those are all the guys on the roster.
And they rated him 3rd?
They rated him 3rd. I put him in 1st place because of that bullpen.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated when I was watching the games on TV when I was a kid and when they were playing the Indians. When they brought in Naleski, I hated that because he threw like really hard, and Mossy had that big curveball. They couldn't hit either one of them.
Yeah. Huh.
They have number 2, the 71 Baltimore Orioles.
Number 2, huh?
4 guys won 20 games.
I thought they might be number 1.
Mike Cuellar, Pat Dobson, Jim Palmer, and Dave McNally.
All 120.
Yeah, Pat Dobson didn't have a long career.
No.
And Dave McNally was not a nice guy at all. I sent him a couple of beautiful color pictures and asked him to sign them. He signed them right across his eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Guess he didn't want me selling them on eBay or something.
Yeah.
I never sold any of my cards. Number 1.
Now we're down to number 1. The drum roll.
Da-dum, da-dum,
Yeah.
the 1998 Braves.
98 Braves get number 1. Okay.
Maddox, 18-9.
Yeah.
Glavine, 20-6. Denny Nagel again, 16-11. Kevin Millwood, 7-8. And Smoltz, 17-3.
Yeah. Did they win that year?
I think they did.
Is that the year they won? They won once, right?
Yeah. I think
Maybe that's the year they won.
I gotta do some research on Denny Nagel. I don't remember him.
Yeah, I remember Denny Nagel.
Okay.
But those top 3, I don't know. I agree with some of your points on number 3. And 4 20-game winners. That's tough to do.
That's tough to do. But
and I remember watching that team, and it was every night you had good pitchers. They had rolled out a good pitcher.
And
every
now
night.
the criteria was starting rotation that I typed in. So I forget who Baltimore had in the bullpen in 71, but I think Stu Miller was out
Stu
there.
Miller, yeah. Tippy Martinez, was that?
Might have been Tippy Martinez.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see if I can figure that out because that and the Braves, I'm not sure who they had in the bullpen in 1998, but I'm going to see how they stack up against the Indians.
That Indians team having, considering the game the way it was then, roll those records out of the bullpen on top of those starters is pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, they got, and Art Hudeman, they got him. He was Detroit's best pitcher.
Yeah.
And they got him. And Hal Newhouser, they picked up off the scrap heap, and he was still able to pitch.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
It's all about pitching, then and now.
That's it.
Right.
It is all about pitching.
Yeah. Football. Okay, better make it quick.
To win the Super Bowl,
Yes,
guess who the favorite is?
your New England Patriots.
You got to put up $100 to win 600.
Okay.
Would you do that?
I probably would.
Green Bay, put up $100 to win 850. Seattle, 900. Pittsburgh, 1,200. Arizona, 1,200. Carolina, 1,200. Minnesota, 1,600.
Really? Wow.
Denver. Now, correct me
Denver.
if I'm wrong, but didn't Denver win the Super Bowl?
They did.
1,800.
Yeah, I still wouldn't take that.
Cincinnati, 1,800. Dallas, 1,800. I wouldn't take those last three on a bet.
No.
But I don't know. But I almost think the Green Bay and Seattle should be the same price as the Patriots.
Yeah, I don't know. I would rate the Patriots were 600.
600.
So
That's 6-1.
6-1.
Yep. And Green Bay is 8.5-1.
Yeah.
Seattle's 9-1. Pittsburgh is 12-1.
Okay.
Is Pittsburgh better than Arizona, Carolina, Minnesota, Denver, Cincinnati, and Dallas?
It's all about the quarterback. They've
It
got a
is.
quarterback who knows
They
how
do.
to win Super
They
Bowls.
do. They do have Big Ben,
Yeah,
but they've lost an awful lot of his surrounding cast.
they have.
I mean,
But they have a way of surviving.
you're right.
You know,
Over
if they have health issues, they're going to be in big trouble.
I'll hold over and under for a minute. Long-term deals with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Priorities. I'm going to give you 5 names. Prioritize them. Jabal Shurd, Malcolm Butler,
Yeah.
Donta Hightower, Jamie Collins, and Gronkowski.
Yeah, I would say.
Well, Gronk they're doing it now as
Yeah.
we speak. So he's
But I wouldn't have called him number one because he already has a deal. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no sense of urgency there. To me, it's Butler.
Butler? So
Number
you
one.
make Butler number 1?
I do.
Okay, well, we already gave
And I make-
Gronk is number 1 because it's going on.
Right.
So we'll have Butler as number 2. Jamie Collins, Donta
Jamie
Hightower.
Collins.
Jamie Collins.
Yeah.
Yep. Donta Hightower or Dante Hightower or
Sheard.
Jabal Shurd. You like Shurd?
I do like Sheard a lot. I might take him because I think you know as much as I like Hightower, you can find middle guys.
I love Hightower. He is a tackling machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, folks, we're not going to give you the over and under. You're going to have to come back next time to get the over and unders.
Still time till the season.
Still time. And my friend Dave the Barber,
Dave the
has-
Barber.
over in Foxborough, has already placed his bets.
Yes.
Yep. And he's got, I think, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Really?
Yeah. He bets the Pittsburgh Pirates in baseball and the Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh
Steelers. Yeah.
Pittsburgh guy.
Yes, who knows? But we'll go over these
Okay.
next time.
Very good.
Plus, a whole pile of stuff. And plus, I'm sure the Red Sox will do a lot of things that are going to have us scratching our heads.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Yeah. Plus, we've got hockey and basketball that we're going to
Around,
have to
yeah.
tackle.
Yeah.
Friends, that's it. I mean, just lock your TVs right on Channel 8 or Channel 40 or 41, whatever it is, and just wait, and we'll be back.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds
Thanks for
good.
watching.
Thanks.
Take care. Thank you, Gary.